Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing a bushel of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime and jingle bells time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air.
That was Jingle Bell Rock by Attic Stein. Welcome to the Rise Review extended for December 5th through December 20th, 2022. On Monday the 12th, Benjamin Henderson passed away from a shooting in the bush. On Monday, 24-year-old Benjamin was outside on the 8400 block of South Burley. Witnesses say around 11:55 p.m., someone possibly traveling in a car opened fire on Benjamin. He was struck by gunfire in the body. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center where he passed away from his injuries. No further details have been released. Anyone with information on this or other Chicago crimes is asked to call 311 or leave an anonymous tip at cpdtip.com. Sean Boone was killed after a shooting on Commercial in South Chicago. Around 4:37 p.m. on Wednesday, the 14th, Sean and another man were on the sidewalk on the 8700 block of South Commercial. According to reports, a sedan approached and three men with guns jumped out of the vehicle. News reports provide conflicting accounts of the color of the sedan, with CBS reporting it was black and the Sun-Times claiming it was red. The men pulled out guns and shot the two men. They then got back in the car and fled north. 37-year-old Sean was struck by gunfire in the abdomen. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center in critical condition, but passed away from his injuries. Another man who was with him, aged around 30, was struck in the head. He was also taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center and last listed in critical condition. On Friday the 16th, a woman shot herself in South Shore. According to reports, the 35-year-old was on the 1800 block of East 72nd Street. Reports do not provide details, but around 6 p.m., the woman, who is a concealed carry license holder, reportedly shot herself in the hand. She self-transported to Jackson Park Hospital and was listed in good condition. On Sunday, a man was shot in Hegewisch. According to reports, the 32-year-old man was near the sidewalk around 3:40 p.m. on Sunday the 18th when he was approached by an unknown male. The two began arguing. The other then pulled out a gun and started shooting. The 32-year-old was struck in the chest and the arm. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center and last reported in good condition. Also on Sunday, a man was shot in the Bush Heights. Around 5:30 p.m., the man was near the sidewalk on the 3000 block of East 80th Street. Details are scarce, but someone opened fire and the 42-year-old man was hit in the knee. He was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center and was last reported in good condition. In another incident on Sunday, a man attempted suicide on 100th and Commercial. Details are scarce, and information on the victim is not being shared due to the family's privacy concerns. The 32-year-old man was inside a home when he shot himself in the head. He was transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center and last listed in serious condition. On Monday the 19th, a 17-year-old was shot near the border of South Chicago and Calumet Heights. Details are scarce, but according to reports, just after 4 p.m., the teen was on the 8500 block of South Chicago Avenue when someone opened fire. The teen was hit on the right side. He was taken to Comer Children's Hospital and last reported in fair condition. During the week, New Sullivan Elementary School teacher Quentin Carradine was laid to rest. On Friday the 9th, students, faculty, and family members paid honor to the memory of Quentin. Quentin was a teacher at the New Sullivan Elementary School in Chicago's Bush neighborhood, located in South Chicago. Quentin was a special education teacher and a basketball coach who many considered a mentor, one of the funniest gym teachers ever. 49-year-old Quentin was killed in a shooting on November 28th while driving on the 400 block of East 87th in Chatham. During the memorial, students and staff shared stories of Quentin, or as the students referred to him, as Mr. Q. One story shared was about a time when Quentin dressed up as Dr. Seuss's cat in the hat for a reading assignment with the children. During the memorial, a saxophonist played Amazing Grace as students wearing Quentin's favorite color, red, had cardboard with messages that remembered him. Quentin was not believed to be the target of the shooting. No one is currently in custody.
He would come in my classroom, and if the kids will, he would dance with the kids.
We wear red because it's his favorite color. Kind, sweet, and he was a nice teacher. When they told me that he died, my heart dropped.
This was one of the funnest gym teacher, and he also taught us how to play a game. He kind of made it up, and he taught us how to play it. It was like real fun. I hope he's in a good place, which is heaven right now.
I already knew it was important before I came here, but all I want to say is thank y'all.
On Wednesday, reports broke on the sentencing of Jamel Danzi. 30-year-old Jamil from Hammond pled guilty to making a straw purchase for a handgun that was used by two brothers, Imanti and Eric Morgan, in the shooting of two Chicago police officers, Ella French and Carlos Yanes Jr. Eric and Imanti are currently awaiting trial for the first-degree murder of 29-year-old Officer Ella French and the wounding of Officer Yanes Jr. during an incident in August of 2021 in West Inglewood. Imanti was said to have shot both officers and then been shot himself by another. Eric, who attempted to run away, was captured by civilians nearby. Ella was killed in the shooting, and Carlos was left partially paralyzed from a bullet lodged in his brain. Jamil pled guilty to purchasing the gun. He admitted buying the gun in 2021 from a licensed dealer in Hammond for someone who had a felony record and could not purchase a gun for himself. The gun purchased by Jamil was found in the yard where Eric was captured by residents and arrested. Jamil was said in reports to have made this purchase for his cousin, although it is unclear whether he is related to the brothers or made it for someone else. Jamil originally was charged with conspiracy to violate federal firearms laws, knowingly giving a firearm to an out-of-state resident, knowingly making a false written statement to acquire a firearm, and knowingly disposing of a firearm to a convicted felon. Following his guilty plea, he was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. Jorge Diaz is facing charges following a hit-and-run that injured an elderly man in South Chicago. During the week, 47-year-old Jorge turned himself into police and admitted to the crash that occurred on November 26. Jorge was driving a Ford pickup truck when he struck a 71-year-old man at the crosswalk on the 2900 block of East 87th Street. According to reports, the 71-year-old suffered life-threatening injuries. Jorge, who lives a block away from the place the crash took place, turned himself into police during the week after reportedly being identified on the 1700 block of South State Street. He was charged with aggravated reckless driving causing bodily harm and failure to report an accident causing injury. He is scheduled to appear in court on Wednesday the 21st. Theodore Ammons was arrested during the week for an attempted South Shore carjacking. According to reports, Theodore allegedly tried to carjack a 29-year-old woman with a knife in South Shore on Friday the 9th. He was arrested on the 7800 block of South Oglesby. Corey and Darrell Singleton were charged for a robbery of a bank truck in Lansing. 21-year-old Corey and 18-year-old Darrell allegedly robbed the Brinks truck in Lansing on Halloween outside the Chase Bank on Torrance. As the truck arrived to refill an ATM, the two brothers and a third unidentified juvenile exited a white Dodge Charger and pointed a gun at the couriers. They disarmed them and demanded they open compartments containing sealed bags. The trio stole approximately $1 million from the truck and the ATM. Lansing police, responding to the scene, attempted to pull over the Charger, but it attempted to escape, eventually crashing into an I-80 entrance ramp. Corey and the juvenile were arrested. However, Darrell escaped. The FBI is looking for Darrell and is asking anyone with information on his whereabouts to call 312-421-6700 or leave a tip at tips.fbi.gov. After over a week, heat and gas were finally restored to a Hammond apartment complex. The building, located on 50 Webb Street, which is owned by the Vilgard Property Management Company, had heat and gas turned off since Thursday the 8th as area temperatures began to fall. Speaking with CBS News, residents said in addition to the lack of heat and gas, there was a dangerous carbon monoxide leak in the building. Carbon monoxide poses a fire and inhalation can lead to death. NIPSCO said they shut down the gas after detecting the carbon monoxide and said there were multiple safety issues they were required to address. NIPSCO claimed they were waiting on management to contact the city of Hammond to inspect the property before gas could be turned back on. Residents claimed they were not provided with adequate information about the issue and spoke with CBS News, which assisted them in contacting management. After the reporting, the Vilger company reportedly offered to compensate tenants for the days without gas and heat and put them in a hotel. On Wednesday, heat and gas were restored to the building. A South Deering man has joined in filing a lawsuit against Illinois Cook County over property tax sales. Michael Bell from South Deering joined in a class action lawsuit that claims the tax sales by Cook County are discriminatory and violate homeowner rights. When a property owner is unable to pay their property taxes for more than a year, the county holds what is known as a property tax sale. During the sale, the county sells the tax debt to a third-party investor. When the third party purchases the debt, a tax lien is placed on the property. If within 30 months the owner does not pay the third-party investor the tax plus interest, the investor can file an eviction order and claim legal ownership of the home. Bell, who was given the home following his mother's death in 2017, lost his job in 2018 and began falling behind on his property taxes. The home, which had been in his family for 40 years, had the unpaid taxes auctioned off in 2019 for around $1,600. Bell currently owes the investor $11,000, which includes $6,000 from the unpaid taxes between 2019 and 2021, along with $1,700 in fees and the $1,600 he owed in 2018. If Bell is unable to pay the costs, he will lose the home, which is valued at about $110,000. Bell has joined 4 other plaintiffs and 2 organizations, which include the Southwest Organizing Project and the Palenque LSNA, in filing the federal lawsuit. The lawsuit alleges that Cook County fails to compensate owners for the loss of their home equity when the property is taken is a violation of the Federal Fair Housing Act, the Illinois Civil Rights Act, and several constitutional rights, including the Fifth Amendment. The lawsuit claims that the property tax sales have disproportionately impacted Black and Latino families, as roughly 3/4 of properties in the property tax sale list in 2021 were either in Black or Latino neighborhoods. During the week, news reports discussed the awarding of $500,000 in federal funds to Hegewisch Marsh. The National Coastal Resilience Fund was set to award $136 million in grants for projects designed to create climate-ready coastlines. The Chicago Park District will receive a portion of the funding to improve 60 acres of Hemi Marsh and upland habitats at Hegewisch Marsh to support species of migratory waterfowl at the marsh. Enhancements to the marsh are designed to create a more natural and functional transition zone from the uplands to the water to attract more waterfowls and encourage them to nest. The Park District plans to work with the Student Conservation Association to combat invasive plant species currently on the marsh's edge and upland habitats. The Park District will work with other partners on the Big Marsh and other Great Lakes coastal projects, which are set to receive $10 million from the National Coastal Resilience Fund. Challenges in the East Chicago School Board elections were resolved during the week. On Friday, a court-ordered recount commission convened at the Lake County Government Center in Crown Point to examine whether there was any basis to change the results in the school board race that was decided by 16 votes. The election held for the District 2 seat on the School City of East Chicago Board of Elections showed Patty Jo Gibson King leading the 503 votes, incumbent Anton Williams with 487 votes, and Wanda Vilma Cavazos with 486 votes. Williams filed the recount petition. The recount was overseen by East Chicago Republican Ray Lopez, Democrat Christine Russell, and Andre Manso, a Lake County election equipment mechanic. The court-ordered commission retabulated the results for precincts 13, 17, 25, 28, and 31. The commission ruled that no changes to the certified results would take place. After over a century treating patients throughout the region, St. Margaret Hospital in Hammond is now closing. The hospital had its roots in the legacy of 3 nuns who came to Hammond in February 1898 to care for the needy. Last year, Franciscan Health announced it would downsize and then close the hospital. Beginning on December 23rd, ambulances will be redirected to St. Catherine's or Community Hospital. Walk-in patients will still be treated, but on the 31st, the hospital will no longer take emergency patients. Despite attempts at renovating the hospital, Franciscan Health said the costs of the renovation were too high and began downsizing the hospital. However, during the renovations, the number of patients began dwindling, and the company determined that patients could instead go to Munster or other area clinics for service. And finally, the Chicago chapter of the Brown Berets National Organization will be passing out food to a homeless shelter in Slag Valley for the Christmas holiday. They are seeking donations of food, soda, water, snacks, and desserts. Anyone interested in donation can drop off items at the Jovial Club located at 9615 South Commercial Avenue between 2 p.m. to 3:50 p.m. or call Anthony Martinez at 773-819-6317. And that ends our weekly review for December 5th through December 19, 2022. And to all of us, to all of you, happy holidays. Thank you for joining us for this review. Peace.